Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Let's talk about The Odds. So this movie was written and directed by Bob Giordano and was released in 2018. The film is pretty low budget. It only has 2 characters and is basically set in one room the entire time. Now these things don't necessarily make it a bad film, but the unbelievable script and padded runtime definitely do. The story opens up with a man and a woman in a room. The woman has agreed to be a contestant in a game involving 19 other people from around the world. The man is, as he says, just facilitating the game. He also tells the woman that they're not going to use names because if they do that, the game will become personal. The man explains that the game is being streamed to a select audience who is controlling the game, and they're also placing bets on the contestants, and the last player left will win $1 million. He tells the woman that there will be 5 preliminary rounds, each increasingly difficult, and 3 players will be eliminated each round. Up until the 5th round, players can leave at any time, but once the final round starts, they can't. Now, I'm a sucker for movies about deadly games or traps like Saw, 13 Sins, and Would You Rather. So at this point, I was thinking that The Odds would possibly be pretty decent. I was wrong. So as the game began to progress, the dialogue between the 2 characters became too unbelievable for me to feel any type of tension or sense of dread that the film appears to be going for. In between the rounds of torture, the man and woman flirt with each other, they talk about getting married, and basically plan their life together for when this is all over. In one moment, the man is literally driving screws into the woman's foot with a drill, and in the next, she's talking with him about getting married. I guess all of this was supposed to build some tension or something for when the man switched personalities and became an asshole, but honestly, I just rolled my eyes through all of these conversations. Now, I'm not knocking the actors when I say this. I think both of them actually did an okay job with the script they were given. The woman character is hell-bent on winning this competition for the sake of her daughter, and she has this tough as nails type attitude from her troubled past. Again, nothing against Abby Butler, the actress who played the woman. I just felt like this whole attitude was overdone. For example, when the man said, "The pain is about to begin," and she replies, "The pain started a long time ago." I just rolled my eyes. I thought that James Fuertes played the part he was given pretty well too. He pulled off the nice guy facade mixed with psychotic asshole pretty decently. Quite a drastic change from his role in The Bachelorette. Let me talk about probably the biggest problem I have with this movie, and that's just how unrealistically stupid the woman is. It just doesn't make sense. So she enters this game, voluntarily tortures herself, all for just the chance of winning $1 million. I mean, she lets this guy drill screws into her foot, almost drowns, and cuts her fingers off, and she may not even win. Remember, at this point in the game, she could have still left, as far as she knew, but instead she kept going. I don't believe for a second that anyone in their right mind would agree to do this, let alone 19 other people. Then, on top of all that, she's just taking the word of this guy who's supposedly talking with people in charge on his little earpiece. She never questions that he may be lying about the whole thing. I predicted way early in the film that the woman was the only player, and this guy was just some psychopath that wanted to watch her hurt herself. And it's totally unbelievable that she couldn't see that coming a mile away. I also kept waiting on something to happen regarding her several statements that she thought she recognized the man. She said this several times throughout the film. I suspected maybe he was someone from her past that she had forgotten, and he was doing all of this as a way of revenge or something. But instead it turned into both the man and the woman just throwing out generalizations about each other's gender. For example, when the woman said she finally knew where she recognized the man from, it didn't make any sense. She didn't recognize him personally. He just reminded her of every violent, toxic man that she's been in contact with throughout her life. So then, of course, the man has to respond and say that she reminded him of every loudmouth bitch that he's ever dealt with. I can only assume that the film was trying to go maybe a little deeper than the story involving this single man and this single woman, but it missed the mark for me. So we're getting through the game and we're on to that final round. I know that this whole thing was supposed to build suspense, but it was so boring and it just went on for way too long. I was just waiting on it to end the whole time. When the man added bullets to the gun to increase the woman's odds of shooting herself, I was like, okay, here's where she gets smart and she just shoots him. But nope. Instead, with 3 rounds in the gun, she points at him, fires just once, and click. Then, of course, she waits on him to get up and run away, then fires the 3 rounds, of course, missing him every time. Why would she just not empty that gun in his ass while he's sitting there? So then you know the drill if you've seen it. The 2 guards come in, she kills them, the man comes back, he tries to kill her, but she's able to smash him in the head with the glass jar that her fingers are in, and his throat is cut by a piece of glass. Finally, the voice in the man's earpiece tells the woman, "You win." So I guess we're just supposed to take that there really was a game, but it was just between the man and the woman. Maybe they were betting on if she would end up killing herself or turning the gun on him. That's what I took from it. But either way, honestly, by that time, I didn't really care. I was just glad the movie was over, and I felt like it could have been about 30 minutes shorter and told the same story. With all that being said, The Odds definitely wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen. I think there was some potential to be a pretty good thriller, but there were just too many problems for it to get there. I wouldn't say it was a waste of time watching it, but if you haven't seen the movie, you're really not missing anything. The odds are you wouldn't enjoy it anyway.